Okay, wait. So, drinking now is now wasting of money. How can I help you?
Let me tell you a story about how he almost lost a lot of the major part of his portfolio in an accident, and also how he took his time to recover it. Please, guys, let's welcome Crypto K to the show. Crypto K, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Zach.
Beautiful. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the FTX Africa Community Podcast.
Good evening to you all.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, you've been on the show before, so we wouldn't go through the long route of introduction, but you can give us like a few seconds introduction once more of who you are. That'll be very nice.
Okay, so my name is CryptoKib, and I am a day trader. Let me just put it that way. So I am a professional day trader. Yeah, so that's it.
That's good. That's good. That's awesome. All right. So I've actually had this story before, and we've actually had you on the podcast before, where I promised everyone that was listening that very day that we'll be having another session where you actually give us the full gist proper. So let me start with the first question. How did you come to know about crypto and trading in general? How did you get to know about it? And when was your first contact with crypto, Bitcoin, etc.?
My very first contact with crypto, when it comes to contact with crypto is different from contact with trading. So being in contact with crypto was in 2011, and that was when a friend introduced me to Bitcoin mining. So I was doing all this HYIP scheme back then with Liberty Reserve. So when Liberty Reserve got banned by the American government, they took them down. So it became a bit tough, and then that was when my friend told me about Bitcoin. And initially I thought it was just a payment service, like the ones we have, like Perfect Money, then Liberty Reserve Gold, which is basically for payments. So I didn't take it too serious. I didn't even think it's going to last the test of time, because back then, American government, anything that threatens their, their sovereignty, they put an end to it. So because of that, which goes on back then, I didn't put too much interest. But then if I can make some few money with it, I'm willing to. So that was my first contact with Bitcoin, 2011.
That's cool. So what changed your mind, when you first saw that, it was, when you thought it was a payment service, what changed your mind about Bitcoin? What changed your mind about crypto in general? From being a payment service to something you can, trade off on a daily basis. Like, what changed your, mind?
Okay. So the thing is, back then in 2011, when I came in contact with it, I didn't take it serious. Then 2012, that was after Liberty Reserve was well exterminated. Then we had to find another means of income. I lost a lot in Liberty Reserve back then. So my friend told me we can mine Bitcoin. How? He started explaining. I thought, man, it's just a waste of power, because then you have to set up we use software back then, set up some software on your computer, laptop or desktop. Then you use your GPU power to run everything. So I thought it was a waste of power, because then Bitcoin wasn't worth anything. But then you get 50 BTC as reward. So I still didn't take it serious. But as it started getting mad, I was like, okay, let me just give it an option. We started mining it for a few income. Not that it was my major income, no. But then side income, no problem. I still didn't take it serious. As I lost my wallet, the private key to my wallet, I lost it. No cap. So I left the country where I was back then, and I came to visit a friend in Ghana. That was in 2013. So as I came to visit my friend in Ghana, I decided to stay in Ghana, being close to Nigeria. I haven't been to Nigeria since 2007. So it was then he was into this bureau de change thing. So it was there I started seeing that people trade Bitcoin. Like you can actually buy it, keep it for a while. Then when the value increases, then you sell. And in 2013, 2014, that was when the value of Bitcoin started going really high. So it opened my eye like, wow. So if I have like one Bitcoin back then and just keep it for some days or weeks or months, the little increase is not as volatile as now, but the little increase can actually earn something. So I too started buying Bitcoin. You buy it, then you just leave it there. Very small ones. Then it was that same 2014 into 2015 that then I realized that when the value went up to like, was it 300 thereabout, that if I had my wallet from back in 2012, if I had taken it serious, I wouldn't have gotten the old 50 BTC as a because I can't own the exact, I can't mine a full block. So it was then down on me that, wow, it could have made me a lot of money. So I started doing research in 2014 to be precise about Bitcoin mining. The trading aspect, it was just passively, just buy some few ones, keep in Bitcoin. Anytime I need small change, take out of it and do whatever I want to do. So I started mining again. With my computer. I lost a lot of computer to that mining. It was energy draining. After I researched a lot about mining, Bitmain came into the picture and they started making these ASIC miners. So I started saving towards that. Got my first miner in 2015. Got my first miner. I mined. I was making like $7 per day. So I thought to myself, if somebody could be making like $7 per day, multiply it in a month, that's something decent. Decent African. We're talking about Africa, you know the cost of living here is low. So if you make $10, $7, even if it's $5 per day, it's something quite interesting, which you can actually live on. So that also opened my mind. And any other money I get from all other sources of my income, I put it into Bitcoin mining investment. I started buying a lot of miners. Any small money I get like this, I'm putting it in Bitcoin, then sending it to China to import the miners. That was how I started building my mining farm. So it was after I lost my mining farm that I picked full interest in trading. So it was an accident that got me to full-time trading.
You lost your mining farm?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is now twofold. You started trading when you saw that prices were increasing and you saw that other people could make something of it, and you started mining because something can be made out of mining Bitcoin. So how did the mining story how did it unfold? Like you said, you sending money to China to get equipment. How did that turn out? You end up building a full-blown farm.
Well, for the mining part, it was actually sweet. When you are making money from something, it is sweet until you see the other side. And initially, when I had my first miner, I had a friend who also saw my income, my profits, then he told me that whenever I want to buy my next miner, he is willing to contribute with me, so we own it together. And I said, okay, no problem. When that time comes, I'll let you know, because the miner has not been beans too. It's expensive back then, but it's even more expensive now. So I do make money. I make money from the mining every day. But as people started opening eyes that Bitmain are supplying ASIC miners, which make a lot of terahashes per minute, people started buying. And the more people buy those miners, the more the difficulty of the network increases. And the more the difficulty increases, it decreases your daily income. The amount of reward you get per day decreases. So difficulty was a thing back then. So if you want to still be a very good player and earn something decent, mining, then you have to increase your hashing power. By increasing your hashing power, then you are increasing the number of miners you have. That was why I even sold my car. I sold my car in 2016, yes. Was it 2016 or 15? 2016, yes, I sold my car, one of my cars. Then I used it to buy miner because I believed I can make the money back from mining. You can sleep and you are making money. You can travel and you are making money. You can be doing any other thing and you still be making money from mining. So it was sweet. So every month, every time there is an what's it called? This bash to buy from Bitme. They sell in bashes. Sometimes they sell early to some members, while sometimes it's an open bash. So if you win a ticket or something, you get to pay and it will be delivered. So every time there is a batch of sales, I'm always in it. So I started adding miners upon miners upon miner upon miner. And it got to 2018 January. I added another miner that very day. That very day I added another miner to the farm. I powered it on. Everything was perfect, stable, running. Then around 8 p.m. in the evening, I heard my friend shouting, calling my name, that fire, 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 fire. I said, where? Upon getting to the farm, I saw that my farm was actually on fire. And I had these eggshells, these soundproof foams that I've used to cover the whole place because of the noise. Neighbors do complain that the noise from my place is too much, blah, 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 blah. So I have to make sure I soundproof everything to make it as silent as possible. So I noticed that it was like the recent miner I had back then made the demand, the electricity demand on the cable used to lay the wiring from the mains to the farm became weak. So the load was overpowering. So probably the wires became weak, got heated to a point that they melted and short circuit. So and when they short circuit like that means positive touching negative. It's fire, definitely. And with oxygen coming in, fresh air coming into the farm, and with the assistance of those foams that I've used to soundproof the whole place, there is no way you can stop it. I tried as much as I can, blah, 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 blah. Before you know it, the whole place was on fire that my whole house got burnt. The very closest house to me, it was a semi-detached duplex. That's why today, if I see any semi-detached duplex, I'm not staying. Because if something affects one of the houses, all the other houses are going down. So it affected the very next house to me, and all those refurbishing or reconstruction were on me because the fire started at my place. So it was a bad experience actually. And what I could then filter it was because I overloaded the power line. That's what I just think.
That's a really, really sad experience. That's a really sad experience. That's a really sad one. That's really sad. But I know that so far you recovered from this, right?
Oh, definitely. I've moved on from it. Far. It didn't take me a year, sir.
That's awesome. That's really beautiful. That's really, really resilient. Honestly, that's really resilient. I don't know. Most people would take that as end of the world for them,
Definitely.
In their lives. It's really sad to see something that you've put in a lot of money. Imagine buying 18 ASIC miners, right?
Yeah. I had 11 in the box, then I had 5 in the smaller box. Is that up to 18? No, it's not up to 18, around 16.
16.
Yeah.
16 of them all burned down to ashes. And he had to also repair damages of the neighbors' houses and all that. So it wasn't a small thing for him. But yeah, it's Crypto Kid today talking with us, and he's happy to share how he bounced back from all these setbacks. So guys, if you've got questions, I'm making this very quick. So keep your questions. I'm going to unmute a few persons. You're going to ask questions at the end of the show. Okay. So quick. Let's move over to trading and how were you able to build back these things from scratch? I know you moved over to trading full time. Can you tell us how you did that?
Okay, I wouldn't say from scratch because I had my mining rewards, which contributed to majorly 80% of what I used to rebuild. So then I had a couple of friends who wanted to invest in the Bitcoin mining program. So I wanted to expand the farm then to a lot of miners. Like we was actually planning to talk to the electricity company to secure a 2 megawatts transformer just for the mining alone. So we were in that process of setting up a big farm when this incident happened. So some of them thought that, oh, maybe it's from this thing. A lot of talks will surely come. But I had a couple of them too who were supportive. So one of them said, why don't you just get trading? Pending the time, we'll be able to recoup capital and then start the miner all over again. And I was like, oh, trading is what I just do passively. The risk there, the risk there is a lot and I don't want to sit maybe on computer every time, blah, 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 blah. But then he encouraged me and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And that was how we got started. Some of them contributed money. They contributed some amount in US dollar and gave it to me to trade with. Then with the remaining capital I also had left, I also started trading. That was how come I have 2 accounts. So I started trading the 2 accounts. But then we were mainly on the group, the one they contributed, we were mainly into sports, buy and hold. And I won't lie to you, everything we bought and had, all these ones say hold. We did buy a lot of good coins and we had for like more than 2 years, I think they were 90% down from the point we bought. So that changed my mind entirely about holding. So maybe it is me that don't know how to do the research of holding, buying good projects. But then I wasn't alone. I had company. We researched together, we thought these coins were good buy. We bought, we even did arbitrage trading. Trade on 2 exchanges, take advantage of the arbitraging price. We did all those things. We made some money definitely from the short trade we took, but where we got it wrong was holding the coins for over a year. But then on my personal account, I was turning over small, till I was able to build and build and build, and it got big, and I was like, wow, it's really impressive. Then I started comparing the risk of trading, the income you can make from trading to that of mining. The risk of mining is actually less if you don't have fire or any other natural disaster. The risk of mining is less, while the risk on trading can be very high, but as well it can be minimized. So that depends solely on the trader. So when I realized that assuming I have $10,000, I choose to put it into mining today, if I can even buy up to 10 miners, my return on investment will be nothing less than 6 months. But in trading, if I know what I'm doing and assuming I'm on that pro level already, then within a month I can make my there is no even return on investment. I can double the money or triple it within a month. That's how trading gets better and why it is better. So since I learned that, I just stick with trading. So if I want to go back into mining now, it will be when I already have those $1 million. Then I know I can have a place well set up with every goddamn thing to standard. So I will have peace of mind and the past occurrence won't reoccur. So that was what got me into active trading in 2018. And I started trading, started learning about strategies, more strategies. And one thing with us is that we have something we can actually trade with, like maybe analysis, type of analysis, or maybe let me just set strategy. But then we choose not to believe it. We might see we have like $100, we are making $10 profit. But then we see somebody posting about $1,000 profit, $500 profit, and we think, wow, our mindset is like, I can also make that amount of profit, but we do not realize that the capital we are trading with is different from the capital that person is trading with, which is a major difference. I may be taking a $10 loss, $10 risk. Another person is taking $1,000 risk. So if that person is making $1,000 and I am making $1,000, we are actually doing, $10, we are actually doing the same thing, just that we are trading with different capital size and different risk. So we do not realize that we think they are trading with a better strategy than we are. Then we start to research on 100% guaranteed or sure strategy. We leave what works and we choose to research what may not work. Then we keep testing those things that may not work. We keep losing. We try moving average. We say, oh, moving average at first is good. First five trades is good. The next 20 trades, you get it wrong. Then you say, oh, this one doesn't work. You go to Ishimoku. We trade with Ishimoku. You say, wow, Ishimoku seems a bit complicated. You leave it. You go to RSI. You combine with MACD. Combine with awesome indicator. Blah, 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 blah. You keep leaving what works for you to find what you think is better. And what you think is better may not necessarily be better. Just that the person trading them has stick to what works for him. So what works for you is what you should stick to. So we didn't realize that earlier on. We tried a lot of things. And at the end of the day, we came back to what got us started. Support and resistance, supply and demand. Then I started researching supply and demand into detail, and I found it more logical. I am able to reason with it. And then I blamed myself back in high school. That was 1990 something. I didn't do economics. We got the offer to do either economics or further mathematics. As a science student, I chose to do further mathematics. And now I'm doing something that has to do with economics or finance. Now I'm thinking of going back to school to do a master's degree in finance, so I can be well acquainted, even better with the market.
It's actually quite funny when you say it like that, because I know most of us are also big that chose further mathematics and all that courses, over economics and commerce back in school. It's really funny, having to come back again in finance and crypto, trying to do mathematics of what that was and all that. Actually, it's actually uplifting, getting to hear your story. You see, you're not like much different from every one of us traders. Like, we all tried so many strategies and jumping from one strategy to the other. It's the story of every trader. Jumping from using my B to RSI, or from one thing to another, till we find the perfect strategy or our edge in the market. That's awesome. So over time, how are you able to improve your trading game? How are you able to improve your trading game? I know you trade supply and demand. So over time, how did you learn? Because I know you started trading much later. So how did you improve your trading game, and how we are able to make it all back?
Okay, that improved part is easy. It's like what you do over time. It starts to blend, or is it blend that you use? It starts to become a part of you. Like the first time you sit on the chart, for a beginner, the moment you see the chart like this, you are like, wow, which kind of statistics be this? You just close it. You don't even understand what's happening. The first time I got on TradingView, I was lost. I just closed it. I didn't know what to click or where to go, It was like, wow, what the hell is this? It was just like, statistics where they run from, now can't they meet now? So, those things. But then the moment you pick the interest and then you go back to it, that you really want to learn, the moment the interest to learn is there, then everything becomes easy. You will take some losses, but then once you start looking at the chart and you start trying to understand why these things reverse from where it did? Why did it bounce from where it did? Why you start questioning the market, then you start seeing things. You start seeing things like you start seeing how it's being played. So getting better, I did a lot of research on supply and demand when I finally settled with it. So I did a lot of research. I watched tons of YouTube videos, a lot of information overload, but I'm good at one thing. Once I see somebody talking nonsense, I know it's talking nonsense. Something that doesn't make sense. Everything anybody teaches, it has to be reasonable, it has to be logical. You have to be able to relate it to something in real life. Because this is a real life financial market. We are trading real money here. So if we are trading this market, we are buying currencies and selling currencies. It's just like buying tomatoes and selling maybe phones. So you have to be able to relate whatever anybody teaches you to what actually happens in real life. So I started watching a lot of videos just to fine tune and find an edge. Most of them will tell me this, I will like, no, that's not, I don't think that's correct. But then it does work for them, but it just doesn't blend with me. So I did a lot of research. Then the time I can really say it really turned around was when I understood market structure. Because many times you can have a demand zone, but it's a counter demand zone or a counter trend demand zone. You will take it because it's a very strong demand, but then it is against the trend. You will definitely get stopped out. And then when you set unimaginable targets at times, unrealistic targets, you buy something at maybe $1, you're expecting it to go to $100 in maybe 1 hour or in 2 days or in 1 week. Even if it's going to go from $1 to $100, it might take months. But we want it like, if you turn this in 2 days, other coins are doing like that. Why can't this one? So we set unrealistic targets and we miss out on a lot of good trades, or a potential good trade turn to a bad trade because we are waiting for heaven to fall or for one miracle to happen. And miracle does not happen in trading. Prayers you can pray from now till tomorrow. God, I'm in this trade. Let it just go my way. You know they happen. If it's going to go against you, no matter the fasting and prayer, it will go against you. So when I realized all those things, then I started learning risk management. Then from there, know what amount of money to put into the market, know what amount not to risk. Even if my risk is 10% of my trading capital, know when to risk that 10% and then know when to risk 1%. So when I started doing all those research, then I started filtering some noises from the values. And when I was able to get that, then the basic knowledge is just what is needed. Then the rest is what you can actually build on. And from what you have even learned, you will see that you deviate from it to form your own. So now I can say I have my own way of trading it. And then since then it's been working. So why change it? But then if somebody says support and resistance is working for him, fine. That's what works for him. But I don't trade it. If you trade patterns, fine. Everything in the market works. Everything has when it works, everything has when it doesn't work. But this is what works for me. And I already know when to take a trade and when not to take a trade using this my method. So fine. Even if you are making 100 million and I'm making just $100, I'm contented with it. I do not pressure myself because that's another bad thing in trading. When you are under pressure to deliver or under pressure to do something, or you need urgent 2K, then you are definitely going to make mistakes. Those are one thing that gets people out of trading, which is very, very bad. So we don't have to trade with pressure of making money, or we don't have to trade with pressure of delivering. We just have to trade because we want to make a livelihood. And making a livelihood out of something does not happen in 1 hour. So that's the thing.
That's really, really true. And like every other guest we've had there too, they've always pointed out to the same thing. Okay, takes time to get your edge in the market, and it takes a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error. Okay, so normally, what's your risk management like when it comes to trading? Like, how many percent do you risk per trade? How do you take care of your losses? What do you do whenever you have a losing streak? All that. Can you give us an insight?
Sure. So the thing about risk is that people misconcept what managing risk is. And like there are different ways people can actually manage risk. Some people may have trade capital of let's say $1,000 and they believe taking 10% of that $1,000, which is $100, and using it as their size, position size in a trade is risk management. Then they set stop loss anywhere they feel like. Some people think that's risk management. Some people think they should just take any position at all, then 3% from entry is where their stop loss will be. Some people think that's risk management. Of course, to them it will be risk management. But the actual risk management is the actual amount of money you want to lose. So I keep saying it to my people that if you want to take a trade, see every trade you want to take as a potential loser. It is not because the trade is going to lose or you are going to lose the trade. No. But because of your mindset, they do say something that trading is 100% psychology. It is trader psychology that determines what you go through in the market. First, you have to realize that not be your papa get the money where they move the market. Not be your mama, not be your generation get the money where they move the market. Your money is very, very tiny.
Yeah.
In the market. So once you realize that your money actually doesn't do shit in the market, you are just a very small player. So then you want to identify yourself with those who can move the market, at what point they want to move the market. Then that is when you have to start calculating if what I'm saying is not what they are planning, how much am I going to lose? If I have $1,000 and I start want to risk 50% of that means if I lose, I'm losing 50%. Will I be okay or I'll be crying after that if I lose? If I win the trade, yes, it's all good. We like to look at the good side, right? We want to see, this trade is 100% clean setup, it's going to work. But what if it doesn't? You are not a traffic control officer who can step on the road at any time and raises up his hand to stop cars. The cars now is a price movement, right? You can't just jump in the middle of the road and raise up your hand to stop the price. It will clear you. It will be like clear road. It will clear you. You understand? So you can't just jump in at any time and say because you are risking an amount. No, you also want to preserve your capital. So as for me, I risk a very minute amount of my capital. I do not go above 2%. And going above 2% means when I lose a trade, I lose 2% of my portfolio. So that is my own personal risk. But some people can risk up to 10% if they are comfortable with losing 10%. So once I see a potential good trade, it might be 100%. But then I think, what if the people moving the market are not ready to reverse price at that very point? If I lose in the market, how much will I look and I'll be like, Boju, as in, come on, be anything. It's not big, it's not much. But if I read something and I'm in a drawdown already, I've not lost it. My stop loss is there, but I'm still in a drawdown. Maybe distance from your entry to stop is 3%, and price has gone 1.5% against you. But the amount you are losing already at that point is a lot. You are already sweating, uncomfortable. That means you are risking too much. But if price is even taking you out and you are like, oh, it's gone, you don't feel like you are still okay because you still have enough of capital on ground to trade with and make profit with, then you are risking what you should risk. So for me, I don't go above. If I even go like 3%, that means that trade must be on a very short trade on an higher time frame.
That's awesome. So guys, you have it. If you are risking, you're risking a percentage of your account that makes you sweat, that makes you fidget. Okay, it means you're risking too much. All right, you should risk something that, if you lose it in the market, right? You won't, you won't feel bad, you won't cry. All right. I've seen crypto keep lose. The last one was 108K, right? The last, I think 128K.
128,000, yes.
That was $128,000, lost. And I've also saw him. I also saw him make 90K a month. So it's all relative to your account size. Okay, it's all relative to your account size. So I'll be taking a few questions from the audience so that we'll wrap up in the next 5 minutes. So if you have any questions to ask either me or Crypto Kid while we talk, just signify and I will mute your mic. So I'll be waiting for the questions while we go ahead with the talking. So Crypto Kid, what advice do you give to newbies when it comes to managing the account? I know people who don't. Okay, Mr. Solution is on there. Also,
Yeah, Zach, thank you so much. Crypto Kid,
Yes, sir.
it's a pleasure to listen to you. I was fortunate to join you a bit late. I'm using that word fortunate for obvious reasons. So I listened, I learned quite a lot, and the truth is that we've always been this trader admired from a distance. Yeah, we've not really been that. We've not always had this rapport. Just know that I'm a big fan. I appreciate you, your work rate, and every other thing out there. So I just have a question for you. Assuming I'm not praying for that, you are to lose everything. You
Yeah.
are to lose it. You understand what I mean by losing everything?
Yeah.
Losing everything in such a way that not just that you lost everything, but you even incurred debts.
Okay.
How would you come back? Or let's say you're starting from nothing. What approach would you take?
Okay, that's a
Because
good
from
question.
what you said, I just got to discover that you had a better beginning. Let me put it that way.
Nobody had a better
You
beginning.
job. Okay, you have. No, just understand me.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm talking about. Okay, it's not. Not really. Excuse me, not a better beginning per se, but then you had an edge. You had a leverage, early information, and all that. So these two things, I think, kind of gave you the leverage, which many persons who are here or who have been opportune to come in contact with couldn't access. So assuming you have to lose everything, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you have to start afresh, what would you do differently?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Solution.
Thank you. That's it.
You be my boss. So the question of starting all over again was what I did in 2018. I eventually started all over again. Apart from what friends contributed for me, that was on another account. But on my own personal account, after doing all the reconstruction I had to do, I started trading with just $3,000, just $3,000. So I was managing two accounts, the group account, my personal account. So my personal account, it was just 3,000, really, just 3,000. I don't want to reveal where my capital is right now, but I just started with 3,000 and I've taken it to over 100K, let's just say. So starting all over again is actually an issue is of mentality. At this point I am right now, if I have just $1,000 to trade, I'll be okay. I do tell people who ask me, boss, I want to start trading, I want to day trade. I do tell them, if you want to day trade, then at least get a minimum of $1,000. Some people may tell you 10,000. It doesn't work that way. You have to look inward. Look at your own, or how do I say it, your own expenses. Look at your cost of living per month. Then channel that into the trading. If you consume, let's say, $500 a month, then you know definitely in that month you want to make at least $500 in profit. Then look at how much you can actually make per day. If it's $10 per day, if it's $20 per day, with $1,000, $20 per day will become really easy. You can take a single trade and make $10, $20, and you're out of the market. You are waiting for the next day. But some people may make $100 even in one day, and they will still be greedy to make more, and then they start losing. So if I was to start all over again, I already have my brains. I already have this knowledge. Everything then becomes very easy. It's not like a beginner who is just coming to learn. So me starting all over again will be very, very different to a total newbie in the game. Somebody with no knowledge of trading at all. Give me another $1,000 account today. Even if it's another $100 account, I started trading this volatility index. I had $100 there. Back then, I traded it once. I didn't quite understand their sizing. So I left it until some days ago. I just said, okay, let me look at it again. Now the $100 is at $200. I didn't even trade there for 3 days yet. I'm not even like trading there like the way I used to trade. But now $100 is at $200. So the knowledge is what matters. Once you have the knowledge, you have your brains, nothing is, you don't have dementia, you don't have any sickness, and you have the capacity, you have the energy, then that's all you need. No matter the amount of money, all you have to do is do not put yourself under pressure like, oh, tomorrow I want to buy car for my girlfriend. Tomorrow I want to buy house. Tomorrow I want to buy best. Because that's what goes on today, and that's why many people are in crypto, and that's why many people are doing meme coins and shit coins, because they want to buy best tomorrow. But it doesn't work like that. You have to take care of yourself first before you reason expenses. So if I have to start all over again, maybe I have 0 people to rely on and I have 0 money. It will be tough because I have to raise a capital. And with my skills in IT, I'm an IT, I have a background in IT. So with my skills in IT, I can easily take up a job for some people. I can build something for them, I can code for them, raise money. That money I raise, I don't spend too much. I don't drink again, I don't smoke, I don't do all those things. So I can easily save something. And once that money amounts to $1,000, I'm going back to full day trading. So it is the knowledge you already have that matters.
Okay, wait. So drinking nights is now wasting of money.
It's not wasting of money. It's not wasting of money. I stopped drinking because of health issues. I stopped drinking since 2016. But once in a while, you know, say, man stubborn. So I see the one or two times.
Okay, so actually what's actually saying is if you know your lifestyle and you know your budget, what comes in and what goes out, so you can easily know how much you're spending and how much is coming in, so that you can easily balance out and trade readily. Okay, so crypto, that's nice. So I don't know if you've got any other questions. You can still throw in. So as I was saying, crypto, what's like an advice you give to newbies coming in? Like what's an advice you give? Definitely not drinking like teaching advice, Just
sure.
An advice.
Sure. Let me first clarify that drinking thing. Drinking is not wasting of money. Is if you have the money to do what you want, sure you can do it. But if I also don't drink, I'm also saving. You understand? Because you buy drinks with money. Some people, when I was drinking, I drink heavy. I was an heavy drinker. So and when I'm in a company of friends, I buy drinks for everybody. You understand? So I don't just buy for myself. If we are 10, I'm the one to pay all the bills. If it's 100,000, I'm the one to pay. So that way, it's still not wasting. But then, can those people do the same for me? That is the question. So if you spend heavy on drinks like that, it adds to your expenses. And when you don't have the money to do that yet, it's better to reduce a lot of unnecessary expenses. You understand? If you want to drink, you can drink at all. That's fine. So that's the thing. So for the advice for newbies,
Crypto Keep, I think you should not defend the drinking thing, right?
No,
because a trader needs to be very sober. A trader needs to be sober. So when you drink, don't drink. So when you
no,
I choose on the other. Okay.
So the advice I have for beginners, extreme beginners, let me put it that way, is to take at least 2 weeks, at least minimum 2 weeks. Just dedicate that 2 weeks to learning. Dedicate it to learning. And if you are following a mentor like this, like me now, they follow JK. So if you are following a mentor like this and Mr. Solution, just follow them. Whatever they tell you is right. Take it at what is right. If you are following them, follow them. Don't follow them, then you go and see one American posting millions in profit, then you think that person is better than them. No. Just take 2 weeks to learn whatever they are telling you. Make sure you understand fully how the market works. Once you understand that, once you have that stick to you, that even if you are sleeping, you are in your dream you trade, or in my dream I trade. I'm calculating steady. I don't sleep. If I'm sleeping like this, I'm always awake somewhere trading, learning new things. Then when I come online, I try to see what I've dreamt about, to see if it will work in the market or not. So that's the way it should be. You should take your time to at least learn for 2 weeks minimum. Learn. Then once you have learned what you are, once you have understood what you have learned, then try to implement it without having your study materials by you. Just try to implement it, maybe on demo trading, or you backtest on TradingView. Then try to see if you can actually remember those things you have learned without having the study materials. Try to think, try to have logical and critical thinking. Try to think deep. So that is my advice. It's just all about learning and knowledge. Acquire the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, then you have all the power you need. You have everything.
Acquire the knowledge, then you have all the power that you need. I think we'll be wrapping it up with that quote. So like someone posted on Twitter, and I tweeted that tweet. User, I think that's Kumbo, of Nairametrics, right? He said Adesina Tukumbo, I think he made mention of getting your skill, okay, building your skill. Talk about building your skill first before seeking for leverage. So if you can build out your skill, okay, like crypto skill, he sat down to learn about crypto, learn about how to trade, learn about how to manage losses and all that. And that was how he was able to come back. So if, as a newbie, if you can do that, manage your skill, okay? If you can, train yourself to become very good at trading, okay? And people see that you're really, really good. This is not financial advice, and this is not even advice. You can take out funds to trade, okay? Or even your own funds and, gradually build it up, of course. Hopefully one day I will tell my own story on this podcast too. We all started with very minute accounts and now running 4, 5, 6, 7 figure accounts. So, guys, we'll be wrapping it up on the show tonight. And, of course, we'll definitely have Crypto Keep come around sometime in future for a part 3 of this discussion. Possibly back then you'll give us a gist of how you got to become a fine coder and could, code strategies on TradingView. That's a part of this whole thing that people don't know. So, Crypto Keep, thank you so much for coming around.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for. Yeah, and if after I'm taking a loss and you want to drink, please drink responsibly. So 11th to 13th, 11th and 12th of February, okay, FTX is will be hosting a trading session powered by FTX, a trading bootcamp powered by FTX. And if you're a newbie, you can come around, okay? Can come around as our tutors are on ground, okay, to help you out. So like you said, you mentioned a few of them, JK, Mr. Solution. These are tested traders and they will be on ground to join. From me to you, it's good night.